Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm just going to get this set up a little bit better. How has everybody's week been? Monday is here. The week has started. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Got lots of knitting done, maybe some finishes, maybe a new start ready. Hi, Susanna. So welcome to everybody who's joining in here live. Grab your knitting and we will get set for an hour's worth of a live knit night. So this week's vote, if you are new here, I start a new knitting project every Monday. And you guys are helping me decide what the project is. Sorry, I hope the fan's not too loud. My house is still super, super hot, so I've got the fan on low. So kind of have this beach feel going on here. My hair is blowing in the wind, but otherwise I'm going to like melt from heat. So hopefully the sound isn't too loud for you. So anyways, this week's project that I'm casting on is going to be either a cowl or a hat. I have got 3 skeins of yarn here that I pulled 2 out of my stash and 1 I actually dyed. So what we'll talk about first off is this week's project. I'll let you know what the winning project is going to be. We'll talk about a little bit about the yarn. I worked on 2 projects this week. So I will give you an update on last week's new start and what my Halloween socks from a couple of weeks ago. We will talk about that. And I did some dyeing. So I've got some yarn I can show you here. So first off, this week's new project. So I really debated about this. There was a few things that I wanted to do, and I went with the hat and the cowl. I thought the last couple of weeks has been Halloween, and they've been socks, and it's been Halloween themed. So now we're moving into winter themed, which maybe I'm pushing it a little bit. Let's hope I'm pushing it a little bit. But I went and I grabbed 2 balls out of my stash. I am working on cleaning out my whole entire yarn room and emptying the whole room. This is some yarn that was still sitting there on the shelves that hadn't got thrown into a tote and moved out of the room. So classic wool, Patton's classic wool, 2 colors here. This is deep olive. This is a whole ball. This one here, it feels like I might have used a little bit out of this for a different project. This is an older ball because it's got the old label on it. This is what their labels are looking like now. So this one's been around for a little while. Sage. So I'm not even sure if this is a current color. Deep olive, I'm pretty sure this one here is I think it's still around. So I wanted a 3rd color to add in with it. And I found this kind of, it's a peachy pink color. And this is one of the skeins that I dyed this week. I am on a bit of a roll with yarn dyeing here. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And I've got some really interesting looking skeins to show you. So 3 skeins, gonna do stranded color work or Fair Isle, and either a hat or a cowl. And some of you guys were funny, but also very true in saying, Louise, do a hat. Please do a hat. I could tell, I could just tell that's what you were thinking, right? Like, for the love of goodness, do a hat. Something that you can actually finish. People were saying hats are such a quicker knit than cowls. But the cowls that I do are probably not much more knitting than a hat because I don't do them super deep. I don't like to scrunch them down, and they're fairly snug around because I want them to be warm. It's not like it's going to hang down. It's not decorative. So they're pretty close. Hats may still be a little less. But anyways, it was very close voting. And you know what? Most of the time, sorry, excuse me. The votes, there's one that kind of pulls away at the end, or one is a clear winner right from the get-go. Only I think once before did it come down. That one other time it was, I think it was actually a tie, and then we broke the tie live. This one was almost a tie. It was really close. It came down. I searched, not searched. I went to my Instagram DMs and I looked there because some people had sent me messages there voting, and that's what broke it because Instagram stories, Instagram post comments, Wildflower Will's Facebook comments, all of those added up to a tie. And it was the DMs that that broke it. So it was close. So hat or cowl? I see some people are saying in here. I see somebody in the comments here saying hat. Another person saying cowl. See, and that's basically how it went on every platform. It was. I'd be going. It would be hat, cowl, cowl, hat, 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 cowl, cowl. Like they were just zeroing each other out, right? So anyways, it is always fun because like I say, it is a great way to start Monday, just having the voting, seeing what you guys are feeling. So let me tell you, what is the winning project for this week? I'm always nervous to say now because some people are always like, I always vote for the wrong thing. And there is no right or wrong because that's all just fun. So these yarns, 2 stash, 1 new hand dyed. I told you I dyed this, right? This corally pinky color. The project for this week is going to be, drum roll, a hat. So I think all of you guys who were thinking, do something quick, Louise, get another finish in the books, that went out in the end. So I'm casting on a hat. I have got this vision in my head of 3 color work patterns. I'm just going to kind of alternate. I think I'm going to do the brim in the dark green and then just play with the colors and see where it goes. So a hat is a doable project to get done in a week, and I would love to come back and just surprise you wearing a finished hat. I would love for that to happen, but I have learned my lesson. How long have I been doing New Start Mondays? Like over 2 years. I am now finally learning my lesson to not say the F word and not promise any finishes because every time I do that, it never ever happens. So we will see. I will come back next week and I will show you progress on the hat and we will see, does it get finished? Does it not? I am dyeing a lot of yarn. The only reason that I probably will not dye yarn tonight is because I ran out. I have dyed all the white yarn that I have, except this one. I have 1 lone ball of Patton's Croy. So you guys know Patton's Croy, 50-gram balls, you need 2 to do a pair. When I was away this weekend, I see Anne's here. Anne and I were very close to each other this weekend. So the grocery store near where our family cottage is has some yarn in the upstairs, and wouldn't you know it, they had 1 skein of white Croy there. So I grabbed it. It's still in my suitcase. So I now have 2 skeins that I can dye. So I could dye these, but I have to reskein them, so that won't be happening tonight. But I do have something that I can dye this week. So maybe I'll show you some more dyed sock yarn next week. Anyways, and this is not totally white, it's muslin. So it's an off-white, but that's okay. It's fun. So I will have a pair of socks that I can dye. Maybe Christmassy colors. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. So that was my only yarn purchase for this week, I think. I think it was my only one, was 1 skein of the sock yarn. I know a lot of you guys had fiber festivals going on wherever you were. I know our friends out west, I think it was in Winnipeg. I know Jocelyn and Aaron from Fireweed Fiber Co. They were at the show Susanna, did you get to the show? I think, Marianne might have been there, maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, and then I know people local here to us, we had the Kitchener Knitters Fair was on this weekend, and I like Instagram was just inundated. All of my feed posts, like I was just scrolling. People were saying how wonderful it was to have seen, knitting friends again, see their favorite dyers. Because Kitchener missed 3 years due to COVID. So this was the first time they did not do a show last year. So people were really, really, really anxious to get back there and just, the whole Fiber Festival vibe is pretty fun. And I know last year when we went to Woolstock, it's in middle of October, so they were able to go last year. And when we went, it was just could just feel this vibe of happiness. Maybe people were just so excited. I did not hear one person complain about long lineups or anything. Everybody was just so happy to be able to see, you know, everybody again. So I'm sure that was kind of the feeling that was going on at Kitchener. And people were buying some amazing yarn, and I did not go. But that's okay. I have I try not to feel sorry for myself that I had to miss a wool festival because I have not missed Kitchener in the past years. I've had a booth at Kitchener. I've been there. I've been there. I don't know every year for however many years. A lot of years. This is the first one I have missed. Not counting COVID years. So I will have to catch up with everybody at Woolstock in October. So it was tons and tons of fun. So I'm sure everybody else had a blast. I see Susanna said that she did not go. And yeah, Jocelyn says it was in Winnipeg. So I know Jocelyn had a great time. Theirs was a 2-day show. Our Kitchener show is only a 1-day show. So a 2-day show is like double the fun. So good. So good. Okay, so what else did I do? I'm going to show you my knitting. And I realized as I pulled it out, I have it still in this very attractive but very functional plastic Ziploc bag. And when you are taking your knitting to where there is sand, I typically don't take my project bags and I transfer everything into a good old Ziploc bag because there's water and there's sand. Waterproof, Susanna's saying, yeah, waterproof and trying to keep the sand out of it. And yes, knock on wood, I have never actually lost my knitting in the lake. I was thinking about it because I was sitting on some rocks and knitting a couple of mornings ago. My son Eric, for some unknown reason, has taken a liking to wanting to see sunrise when we go to the cottage. So, like the dutiful mother that I am, set our alarm and we get up and just throw on the first clothes we can find. Half the time I'd forget to comb my hair because it wasn't that early this time because it was, basically 6:45 was sunrise, 7 o'clock was sunrise. But in the summer, it's a lot earlier than that. So there was a few more people up for sunrise this weekend, but I was like, I'm at the cottage. I have no makeup on. My hair is finger combed, sunrise, you get what you get, right? Anyways, it was lots of fun and the sunrise were beautiful. It was nice. And it was a great way to start the day, sitting by the water, watching the sun come up. One morning it was pretty chilly. The other morning was really still warm. So, Nikki, you're such a good mom. I get roped into all things. He's going to be 30 this week, you guys. It's not like he's a little boy or a teenager. He is a grown man. But you guys some of you know Eric, and some of you have seen him around when the Fiber Friends were doing our Friday Night Lives. And anyways, yeah. Eric's Eric. So anyways, we did the sunrise and it was lovely. So I did take my knitting and put it in a Ziploc bag because I was sitting on the rocks by the right at the water's edge, and I was almost sure I would probably lose it because it was a little windy, but I didn't. So that was all good. Okay, I worked on 2 pairs of socks this week and I've dropped one. Hold on while I retrieve it. Ah, okay, so new start from a few weeks ago. Look at this, you guys. My ball is getting skinnier, which is a very good sign, right? So, Universal Yarns, Wisdom, Wisdom Yarns, and Pros is the name of this yarn. It's a 75/25, I do believe. Yes. 75 superwash wool, 25% nylon. And the colorway is Foxy, which I don't know. I'm calling it my Halloween yarn. And I showed you guys a finished sock last week, which I will show you again because here it is, all done. And here is sock number 2. I actually showed this to you last week and I had a little bit of ribbing done. I had the black done and I think I had a couple rounds of the gray done. And then I was to show you that they were matching. Look at how good those match. Um, and what I ended up doing was I pulled it out because as we were chatting last week, I was kind of looking at, but more I could feel it, and I'm like, wait, something's not right here. And sure enough, because it's black, and I was like really seriously having a hard time reading the black, I I ended up doing seed stitch in here instead of ribbing. And I could feel, I think that's while I was chatting to you, I'm like feeling something. And sure enough, my knits and my pearls were off columns were mucked up and I was making seed stitch. Well, just for a couple of rounds, but it was just enough that the cuff of the sock flared out a little bit. When I held it up to this one, I'm like, and then sure enough, I looked at it and I had done seed stitch, but I had only done to like about there. So I pulled it out. I pulled it out again and I started, and now it is like perfect. And I wasn't so concerned, about, I thought, well, I almost left it. I was this close to leaving it because I thought, who's going to see this really? It's going to be under a pant leg, right? But in the end, I thought, no, I just have a few rounds. It was actually gonna bug me, which is unusual because usually stuff like that, I can live with it, if it's not gonna be super noticeable. But I pulled it out and I got them matching like almost perfectly, if I do say so myself. So I have just started the heel flap. Um, I even had to look to see where it was. I think I've done 2 rows on it. You can just kind of see, well, there's brown. See there's 2 rows of brown there? That's the heel flap. No brown on that side. So that is my super teeny tiny start of the heel flap, but the heel is started. So this is just, I'm following my super simple cuff down sock pattern. Heel flap gusset, super easy. I can do it off the top of my head, but I have almost got a finished pair of socks, you guys. I am going to have these done. I should not even say this, but I'm going to. I'm feeling like it is what we're just not even quite the middle of September, September 12th, almost the middle of September. So I have a couple weeks before October, tons of time before Halloween. I feel like I am just like cruising along with tons and tons of time to spare. I will have this pair of socks done. They will be collecting dust before I need to wear them for Halloween. But see, now that I've got super overconfident like that, what will happen? My needle will break. I don't know. Something crazy will happen, right? It's like the knitting gods are going to say, she is too confident. We are going to put her back in place, right? But fingers crossed, I should have these done super, super easy, right? No worries at all. Which leads me to last week's new start was this really gorgeous ball of Leo and Roxy self-striping. It was called Witch's Boots, but don't get too excited because there's none of it left. And Nikki says I'm optimistic. Yes, I know I'm very optimistic, which may come back to haunt me. Well, that's funny. That was a good pun for Halloween socks, wasn't it? So, anyways, Jolynn who dyes the yarn for Leo and Roxy Yarn Co. She messaged me when she saw this last week and she's like, "You have a unicorn." She said, "I did not do very many self-striping." And I think they maybe did self-striping when they first started dyeing, and then they haven't done. I want to say I don't think they've done it again. If they did, maybe they may have done a few more, but yeah, it's not something to do on a regular basis at all. So to have some Leo and Roxy self-striping is pretty special because there's not very much of it out there. So this is fun. I'm loving knitting with it. I have got this much done. It is knitting up. I knit the bulk of this over the weekend when I was visiting with my mom and my daughter. And I'm liking it. So what I am doing is I'm doing toe up. So I did Judy's Magic Cast On with 2 DPNs. And I don't know about you guys, but I always find Judy's Magic Cast On much easier to do with Magic Loop as opposed to DPNs. I found DPNs just a little fiddly, but I couldn't find a long circular needle as I was packing up to go to the cottage. So I grabbed DPNs and I thought, okay, I'm going to suffer through. And so I've got a little orange bit and then went right into the black. So I will see if I can duplicate that again on sock number 2. If not, they won't be matchy-matchy, but that's okay. It was interesting. I did a poll in my stories about having your socks match. I thought for sure it was going to be like hands down, like people were going to pick, yes, I always match my stripes. And it wasn't. Most people said, nope, don't bother. And that really, really surprised me because normally I'm a nope, I don't bother. But this time I really felt the urge to have matching stripes on these Halloween socks. So what do you guys do? Did you guys maybe this is duplicate. You may have answered in the Instagram poll, but do you guys match your stripes or do you just like not worry about it? I'm really curious. It really surprised me. I thought more people would try to match them up. And Karen left me a comment, and so I will, and she's absolutely right. So if there's anybody out there new to sock knitting or you haven't done self-striping, one tip that you should do, and this is what Karen said to me, she's like, oh, Louise, I could tell, it's like, I'm sure I can read the tone in some people's comments, and I'm sure she's thinking, why did you cast on your socks mid-stripe? And I was like, I don't know, just because I did. And so what you can do is when you pulling out your ball, if you've got all your black, your stripe for your black, and then you're going into orange, start it right where the color changes, and then it's easy to find a duplicate again on sock number 2. But no, I think I said to Karen, I said, no, I said I just wanted to live dangerously. So I had started partway through the black stripe, and I thought, that's okay. When I start the second one, I'll figure it out. And so I did. It took me 2 tries. I did an educated guess when I pulled out. I thought, I think I'll go this way, partway through the black stripe. I cast on, I knit the cuff on sock number 2, and I was off. I had not enough black. I didn't pull out enough, or pulled out too much. Anyway, so I pulled it out, started a second time, and I had the black. It worked out. It worked out. My stripes. I don't know. It was a little bit of a challenge, and it worked. So, but then I did seed stitch. So then I had to pull it out again. But I stayed very careful to make sure where I had the point where I had cast on that yarn, I held on to that. So I still cast on right in that same spot, and it worked out perfect. But there is ways that you can do it to make it a little easier on yourself if you don't want the challenge. So anyways, having said that, I did not do that again for this one, but I was pretty close. I was right at the end of the orange. So I'll be able to figure that out. if I feel inclined to do so. So this sock, I have had a knitter ask me about the Fleegle heel? Fleegle? Is that how you say it? I think so. Fleegley, something like that. Fleegle heel. So I was like, that was on my list of kind of all the different sock heels that I wanted to try this year. That was on my list. So she asked me about it, and I thought, okay, that's what I will do. There was one from last week, the one where you start at the heel. I'm going to save that one for a different pair of socks. So that one may be coming up soon too. So anyway, okay, I'm going to take a look here and see if, oh, Susie says you like the Turkish cast on for toe up. Yeah, I think they're pretty, no, I'm not gonna, anyways, I'm not gonna finish that. Okay, Susie, yes, I have done Turkish too. And I don't know, I just always go to Judy's. I don't know. It's like ingrained in my head. I think it's the one that I learned first. So that's the one I always grab. I always go to. I know some people say they find Judy's Magic Cast On tricky to figure out, but I don't know. I guess I've done it lots. I guess that's what happens, right? When as the years go on and the number of sock knitting years begin to add up, all of these things become second nature, which is a perk, I guess, right? Of having done them so often. So let me see here. I'm just going to take a look. Sally said, love the colors. Yeah, they're fun. How about trying toe up Fleegle heel? Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I'm doing. Look at that. Oh, Kim says she matches. Nikki, sometimes, especially if it's a design. Yeah. Sally says you try to match the stripes as much as possible. Susie, I don't really try to match mine unless they're for someone else. Okay, yeah. Most of the time, Nikki matches. Oh, knitting purple. It's Paula, right? I think I'm pretty sure it's Paula. I deliberately don't match stripes. I sometimes start a second sock from the end of the ball. See, those are fun too. And maybe it was you that said, somebody else said that they, yes, make sure that their stripes are off by a couple so that they really don't match, because you don't want them to be like just like a round or two off, because then it looks like you tried to match and failed. So if you're going to have them unmatching, then just really have them unmatching, right? Christine, you try to match. Jen, almost always matching. So I think there's more people matching. I know. I don't know who was answering in in my Instagram poll last week, but they were all the unmatching people. Isn't that funny? I don't know. But really, either way, you get a finished pair of socks, and they're kind of fun to be mismatched matching, right? So anyways, Fleegle heel. So I saw, yes, the Fleegle heel. That's what I'm going to do. Has anybody done the Fleegle heel? I think I will talk more about it next week, but it is for toe-up socks, and you, from what I was reading about it, you have to get it to where, then it's the top of your foot, right where your foot and your heel join. That's, you knit to there, and then you start the heel. So I think I'm at that point. The one little downfall with doing it on your little 9-inch circular is that you cannot try it on. At least I can't. Well, you can, but then I always pop stitches off the end of my needle. So, which isn't the end of the world, but I do have a spare needle around here. So I was going to take off some stitches, put on a spare needle, and try it on just to see, because I was just kind of holding it, you know, trying on the top of my foot, and I'm pretty close, and I didn't want to knit too far. So that's why I left this one and didn't get any farther on it. So I'm going to start the heel this week, and then next week, that is my plan for next week, is when we come back next Monday, is we'll talk about the Fleegle heel, and I'll let you know what I did, if I liked it, if I found it confusing. I'm going to keep an open mind, because I always say I want to try all these heels, and then I try them and then I grumble as I'm knitting them, because it's not my my go-to, right? Because I always just do heel flap and gusset because I like how it fits, and I've been doing it, like I said before, I've been doing it for a lot of years now, so I know the numbers, I can just do it. And every time I try another heel, I want it to be super fun and exciting, but then it slows me down because I have to read the instructions and go back and forth and all that kind of thing, right? So, but I'm open. I want to try something new. I want to try something different. I want to wear it, see how I like it. So we'll report back next week. So I'm gonna see. Oh, I see Val here. Jen's okay, yes. So Nikki says, oh, with Croy, you sometimes have to pull from the outside on one and inside from another ball to get them to match. Okay. That's a good tip to know. Nikki says, check your gauge and measure. Oh, yes, that gauge. Yes, yes. So we'll see. I'm excited to try a new heel. So I should say a little bit more. So I did cast on this sock with the two DPNs, and I started doing my increases on just the two needles, and then I split it at some point once I did a couple of rounds of increasing, and I had 3 DPNs in here. I left one half on one needle, the other side I split into 2 DPNs, which made it much easier to knit in the round. And then once I got out to my 64 stitches, then I just put it back on the my little 9-inch circular, and I've just been knitting round and round and round until I had to stop because I didn't want to knit too far. Let's see. Oh, Susie, what is this? Last pair of socks you did a heel flap on bottom of foot and heel turn and gusset on top of the leg. Oh, so you didn't, okay. Heel flap on the bottom of the foot and heel turn and gusset on, okay. Oh, did toe up. Okay. See that you can do toe, you can do heel gusset, heel flap and gusset, toe up. You can. It is just you have to, there again, probably you, like Nikki said, you have to know your gauge and your measurement. Like you need to know where to stop to do it. So exactly kind of the same thing here. So once you do it once, you'll know exactly how far you need to go. But it's roughly with toe up and heel flap and gusset, you're stopping your foot 3 inches short of the length that you want it. So anyways, so it's probably kind of the same for the Fleagle heel. We'll see. Oh, Nikki says, especially with a new heel. Yes, because your row gauge is a 10, 4.5, then you can calculate the length you want by adding and doing the heel. Yes. How many rows are in the heel? Don't know. Don't know. I looked at it, but I don't know. I got to go back and read it kind of step by step now. But see, and I know, so what Nikki's talking about, row gauge and measuring. So if you are doing a cuff down sock, this is something that I teach when I teach sock knitting, is like the pattern says, you knit your foot to about 2 inches short of the length of your foot, and then start your toe decreases. Well, you can figure out exactly, if you figure out your row gauge, how many rows are you knitting per inch, and then start knitting your foot to where you want your toe to go. Figure out how many stitches you have on your leg. If you've got 64 stitches and you want to decrease it down to however many stitches you like on your toe, figure out how many rows that is, what your row gauge is, so then you can get that foot and your toe to be the exact length that you want for your foot. Because sometimes we just blindly follow the pattern and it'll say knit so many inches and then start doing your toe decreases, and then your foot ends up a little short or a little long, right? So if you know your gauge and all that, you can get it like spot on if you want to go to all that math and measuring. I know some people will just say, "Yeah, no, just gonna knit it and it'll be whatever it is," right? But there are ways that you can use that and you can use gauge to your advantage to get that perfect fit. Tammy's saying sock madness is in 6 months. Better start practicing the different heels now. You're right. You're right. I was kind of thinking about that because we're into fall now, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas is going to be here. And then before we know it, the new year. And then we'll be, yeah, into sock madness again, which is pretty exciting. I have been thinking about it a little bit, but not I don't want to think about it too much because there's so many other fun and exciting things. But yes, I love the fact that after all the excitement of all the holidays, Sock Madness is there to look forward to. Okay, I'm going to show you some yarn dyeing, you guys. Some of it I'm really happy with, some of it's okay, some of it I'm not sure about. But I will show you some of this here. I have got 3 skeins of this. Okay, but they're all really the same. So, sorry, I jiggled you a little bit. This, so this is the one that's I'm going to knit up this week into the hat. There's 3 skeins of this, but one is kind of sitting. Okay. I don't have it. Okay, I don't have it skeined up. It's still just hanging out here. How it came out of the dye bath. So I've got 3 of these. So these are all Patton's Classic Wool. And I dyed them kind of a peachy pinky color. Bubblegum, I don't know, not really bubblegum. I don't really know what color it is. And I don't know if I would repeat this again. I'll see after I've knit the hat with it and see if I end up, if I like it or not. It is, I think it's nice. And I think if I was more of a pinky person, I would like it more. So we'll see. Oh, Sally's saying 103 days until Christmas. You know what? Okay, that was terrible. My sister-in-law, who is the potter, I read her last email or yeah, her newsletter, and she said something about, can you believe it's that time of year? We've got Christmas workshops already scheduled, and it's time to sign up because she was doing some Christmas trees, pottery Christmas trees. So obviously you need time for her to get everything, all the students work through the kilns and then be ready for Christmas and whatever. So it is time to start thinking that far ahead. And she says something about, are you like my sister-in-law and have a Christmas countdown app on your phone? Or are you like me, who's trying to, me as an Angela, to, avoid Christmas, for as long as possible? And I laughed at that. And so I messaged her and I'm like, well, just so you know, I said, I actually have 2 countdown apps on my phone. And she laughed. She's like, I knew you did. So anyways, yeah. So Christmas, I know Sally's counting the days too. I am too, which is getting close. Okay, I still didn't do a good job on this one. But anyways, this is the color. So I don't know. I kind of like it, but I'm not so sure. I don't know. This one here. Okay, maybe you can see. It's always amazing when I look at it in the camera. The colors show up different than when I'm looking at them in person. So this one here is a little different than these 2. I started out, oh, Sally says beautiful color. Thanks. So I did 3 of them in the dye pot at the same time. They didn't turn out exactly how I wanted them. So I took one out, which obviously is this one. And I kept it aside, and then I added in a little bit of yellow dye to kind of change the color. So this is a little different than this one. This one here is a little more pinky. But anyways, they are nice, and it was fun. So, and the color turned out fine and usable. So whoever likes pink will like this. So somebody's going to get a pink hat. I don't know if this one will be, probably not for me. We'll see. We'll see. So I did those three and they were really a lot of fun. And I did these three. Three skeins fit in my pot nicely. So I did all of these as one dye lot. And this is three different colors in here. So it's kind of a, like you can see, a goldy brown color, which is what the color I was looking for. So I really like these. I know some people, if you're not a brown person, this is not going to be your cup of tea, but oh, tea is almost what it looks like, isn't it? But I really like this. Really like this a lot. So that was, I'm calling that a success. And then I did three other skeins and I did the same colors that I just dyed, but I did these ones just a little more on the gold side. And I really like these too. I haven't even skeined these. So, but I really like these too. I am going to have to knit really super quick here, but I like these. So if you hold these ones up to these, you can see these ones are brighter than these. So I don't know. I like these, but I really like this shade too. So I may try to duplicate these ones because I do like that. So I've got those. So I don't know. I may do some 3 skein worsted weight shawls because I like that. So I'm in the process right now of finding a spot where I can order some bare, like white wool. And I'm going to start ordering like in bulk here so I can just keep dyeing. Sally, it is a hat. Did you vote hat or cowl? It is a hat by very close margin. So now this one here, this is the one I'm not so sure about. I keep thinking I'm not happy with this, but then sometimes the more I look at it, I'm like, well, maybe it's not that bad. So I'm not sure. I think I might start to knit with this. Oh, Sally voted cowl. It was, yeah, it is hat. It was hat. Yep, Susie, Knit Picks has bulk 20 skein packs. Yes. Did I get more Kool-Aid? No, I did not get more Kool-Aid. And part of me thinks I may go back and pick some up. I saw some at our local bulk barn just as a fluke. I was in a different mall than I normally go to, and they had a whole display rack of Kool-Aid there. So I maybe should because, if I feel like doing some Kool-Aid dyeing or next summer again, I should maybe buy some just in case I can't find it again. Oh, what did I dye these with? So these are all acid dyes, you guys. So yeah. So I have a little dye studio set up in my basement. And yeah, this was all acid dyes. Now these 2 skeins, I have 2 of these. These are not classic wool. These are skeins that I got last year no, I bought these this year. I bought these in March. So these are like haven't been in my stash that long. In March in Hamilton, the Fiber Festival, can't remember the name of it. Can't remember the name of it. Anyways, it was in Hamilton. It was the first year I had been. I think they started maybe 1 or 2 years before COVID. It's a fairly new show. It was the first year that I had been there, and it was very lovely. And this was from Link Farms. They are not very local. I mean, they're a couple of hour drive away. They're near Niagara Falls, Niagara on the Lake, and it's beautiful, beautiful wool from their farm. And I bought it obviously with the intention of dyeing. Can't remember what I was thinking I was going to dye when I bought it. Why I bought 2 skeins, it's a sport weight. Anyways, I dyed this last weekend with Debbie from Zeraldo Alpacas. She and I did a natural dyeing day, and we did jewel weed and weld. Weld gives you a yellow, but that's what the base of this was yellow, and it was more of a yellow. I don't know. I wasn't totally happy with the weld yellow. Usually it gives you a really vibrant yellow, and mine came out really kind of muted. And I decided to over dye it. So I threw it in the vat with the acid dyes and I put some pink over top of it. And that's what I came up with, but um yeah, not totally sure I like it, but I'm gonna knit with it and see how it knits up with. Worst case, I will just take it out and reskein it and just over dye it. Maybe just do like a solid again. Make it make it like bubblegum pink or a dark purple or something, just to do a kind of a tonal. So, anyways, that I think that's what I did. The two shades of the gold, the pink, and then this variegated or two colored kind of pinky yellow. So I do want to perfect a pink and yellow. This is not it. This is the starting point, and then I'm gonna keep working at it from there. Oh, so Praveen, hi ladies. So need to go to sleep. Oh, you have to get up in 5 hours. Okay, yeah, that is a short night. Okay, well, I'm glad that you popped in to say hi. I know. Anyways, I'm gonna take a look back here. So that's pretty much all that I have done this week. I've done a bunch of dyeing, worked on 2 pairs of socks. I'm loving knitting the socks, you guys. Oh, I need to keep this up. I always need to have a sock on the needles for sure. And maybe now I will. I actually put one 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 of my new projects into Ravelry, and I thought, you know what? I think that was one of my kind of my New Year's goals back in January was I was gonna start putting my projects into Ravelry every week. Well, no, here we are in September, and I am now just starting it, but that's okay. I'm just kind of letting go. I'm not going to worry about those projects. Maybe I'll go back in and put them in, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just say, as of September, I'll start my new projects and just carry on next year. I don't think I'm going to take the time to go back. Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe when I finish them, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But I did start doing one, and as I was putting in all the info, I thought, oh, I'm thinking this feels like the right thing to do. I just need to actually get in the routine of doing it. I think that's the thing. I just got out of that routine. But once I started putting that one project in, I was like, yeah, I really need to do that. So, also, if you're watching this, she's always telling me I need to put stuff into Ravelry, and I'm going to say, also, you were correct, and I am going to try to get into that routine. So maybe if I kind of work at it now, kind of be hit and miss over the next couple months, and then I'll be like bang on ready to like start January's new projects, get them get them all into Ravelry next year. So I can just be working a little bit ahead of schedule for next year's goals. Anyway, so what has everybody else been knitting? Is anybody else doing any Halloween knitting? No, I did not show you my scarf. Jocelyn and I are working on the Halloween Fair Isle scarf. That's what it's called. That great big huge 8 foot long scarf, colorwork, stranded. Yes, I decided I'm not going to show that to you. Jocelyn and I are doing that reveal October 6th, I think, the first Thursday of October. So it is open as a knit along. If you guys want to join and knit along with us, you don't have to be done the first week of October. You can go right up until Halloween. Because I would love to see some pictures. I have this in my, I will have to do this. I will have to look around the neighborhood, see who's got a really fun outdoor decoration, something, pumpkins, straw bale, scarecrows, something. And I think it would be fun to see people with their scarves on and then take a selfie in front of, a scarecrow or something and then post it for Jocelyn and I to see. I have seen a couple people knitting them. So I know there is going to be a couple finishes out there. So I'm really, really excited. So I may post some pictures of mine, just whatever pattern I'm knitting on. I don't want to give away too much. I want to keep you guys in total suspense to see, will I finish or will I not? Because either one is a total possibility. Oh my gosh, but this has been a great, last week was a great knitting week. And part of it was probably because I was on vacation and did some knitting by the lake, which is always therapeutic, very relaxing, very calming. I always come home feeling very well rested, ready to start the week, which I really, really do like. So yes, I'm going to take a look down here and look into the comments here and see what people have said. Oh, Jocelyn, you're working on your Halloween hat tonight? Your hat or your scarf? Are you working on a hat? Okay. Oh, Jay Lampier is saying you're working on, little boxes, scarf or socks. Nice socks. I'm all about the socks right now, so that's awesome. Jocelyn's working on her Halloween hat. Nikki's working on her super simple summer sweater. Oh, you're on the sleeves. That's fantastic. Sally, you're almost done with your cozy up wrap. Then you're going to start your Halloween shawl. Fantastic. I love it. Hi, Lynn. Check out Nimble Needles pumpkin pattern on YouTube. Okay. Yes, I want to do. So is it to actually knit a pumpkin? Okay, I'll have to check that out. Susanna, you're doing, shawl on the bias. Is that crocheted or is that knit? Hi, Autumn, you're working on Seawig wrap. Oh, for the Ho He Fall knit along. Yeah, who else is doing that? I know there was a few people that were anxiously waiting for it oh no, so there's no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking, I know there's a bunch of people doing Hohe's knit along. Stephen West, that's the one that starts. Does that start October? That's fun. It's fun to have these things to look forward to starting, isn't it? Jen, you've been working on Jocelyn's Halloween cowl. Excellent. You're also making some slippers for grandkids, a blanket, and a cast on some mittens tonight. Very fun. You always have such a great variety of projects, Jen. That's always so fun. The other, you're okay. I was going to ask if your name was Jocelyn. Yes. Okay. Hi, Jocelyn. And you were named the Harvest Cardigan by Tin Can Knits while embraced by the water, and it was very relaxing. I know, wasn't it? I took my socks with me and just sat, I could listen to the water. I know Anne and I were not very far from each other. So I know we'll have to I know, Anne, we'll have to get together sometime if you go back up again. And yeah, we'll have to try to coordinate by the lake knitting afternoon. Okay, Alice. Hi, Alice. Your sock. Your sock Chagu cable just broke. What? Oh no, I've never had one of their cables break. I mean, it's entirely possible, right? But oh no. So do you have another needle or are you gonna have to make a run to the yarn store? See, I know, sorry. I hope I did not jinx you, right? I said about my needle breaking or something, and that would be like something that would stop me from getting my socks done. Oh no. So hopefully it wasn't, like lace and cables or something. You didn't lose a bunch of stitches. That would be tricky to pick up. So you're working on your cardigan. Whitmore. Okay, cardigans. See, it's sweater weather. I had to put on a sweater tonight, late this afternoon when I was at work. It was getting cool outside, and I put a sweater on. Oh, Lynn says yes, Louise. The little ones, really nice. Susanna says yes, they are pumpkins. Okay, I will go check that out. Oh, Nikki, your sweater is in the Hohi cowl too. That's right. Because it's is it just any one of her patterns for the Hohi cowl, isn't it? It's not a specific one. I think that's what I read. Well, very good, you guys. That's exciting. Susie, you're also working on 2 pairs of socks and a blanket. Oh, for mother-in-law that I put away when they visited and now can't find it. Oh my God. Thank you. I am so glad I am not the only one who put something away and cannot find it. Susie, that makes me happy. And yours is a blanket. Mine was just a little teeny weeny sock. Yours is a blanket. Okay, you'll find it though. You'll come across it. Jocelyn. Yes, I know exactly who you are. I always think of you as Danielle's friend. So, yes, I know. We haven't seen each other for a while. I think that was the last time, right? Tammy. Oh, if I like colorwork sweaters on Halloween, look up Megan Regan and Ravelry. Megan Regan? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to okay, I got so 2 things I have to go look at once we're done chatting. Yes, and absolutely we will. Yes, so Nikki says yes, any of the Hohi patterns. That's kind of nice. That's a good way to do a knit-along. Alice heading to Bijou yarn store for a replacement cable tomorrow. Good. Well, look at that. You get to go to a yarn shop. So okay, so now the question is Alice going to be able to get out of that yarn shop with just the replacement cable? Or will a ball or two of yarn follow her home? I know, Jocelyn, that's right. I know, I do. I always when we're talking about yeah, Jocelyn's, it's like I have to I know because I know a handful of Jocelyn's and I so it's yeah, everybody has their determination of who they are and you're Danielle's friend. So, so fun. Anyways, that is so exciting. Everybody's got super great projects on the go. And Halloween, I'm going to go look up those Halloween pumpkins. I started doing pumpkins. I'll finish up real quick with this. My Thursday knitting group. Um, I'm starting to try to encourage people there to work on some pumpkins. And we have some knitters there who like to use the knitting looms. So like the corking, right? You guys know what I mean with the knitting looms, the round with all the pegs on them. And so I did a pumpkin on there. I took 3 strands of gray yarn. So it was just a light, a medium, and a dark, basically of gray, kind of like a DK weight, sport weight, oh no, here we are again into DK and sport. So I don't know which one it was. Sport, maybe I'll say sport weight. So I did 3 strands of them on the loom. And I did it 4 inches high, which I think is actually a little bit too high. Anyways, it took me about an hour, hour and a half, and I just did this around and I did a little pumpkin. So I'm gonna do a few more of those with our Thursday group, and then I also want to knit some as well. So I have this feeling I'm going to have an explosion of pumpkins here. Or I hate you guys know I haven't talked about pom poms in a long time, so I'm just going to slide that in. There may be some orange pom poms happening right soon. Cheer. Oh, Alice, you can't escape, especially if she has Halloween wool. Yes, I know. Oh, also Megan is Bad Wolf Girl. She has amazing colorwork sweater patterns. Okay. It is kind of interesting. That is so fun that I was kind of going through some of my Instagram today and was kind of looking for people, like some new people to follow to get some new inspirations. So I will definitely look her up. Oh, linked her. Okay. And Jocelyn. Oh, it's only confusing when Jocelyn is friends with Jocelyn. That's right. And they are in the same group. I may have it. Yes, and see, I typically never, I shouldn't never say never, but yeah, don't very often come across another Louise. So anyways, yes, you're right. Oh, yes, Sally's saying Megan has beautiful patterns. Okay, I'm gonna have to look her up and see if I have ever come across her because it's so funny, right? Because you think you like you you follow all these people on Instagram and YouTube, and you've got your own group of knitting friends. And then there's like still so many people out there that we haven't even come across yet, right? Or people we aren't following. So it's always fun to find somebody new. All right, guys, we are right at the 1 hour mark. So I think we will just call it a night. I have got all this yarn that I need to wind up into cakes, but I'm going to start with my 3 colors for tonight. So I've got my lovely hand dyed stuff with my ties. So at least that way I know that that was stuff that I dyed if I ever get stuff mixed up. So anyways, there we go. 2 shades of green with a little pop of some pink in there. So this is going to be a hat, which means I have to find another 16-inch needle. That might be might be a little bit of a job, but I'm going to look for a needle and I'm going to wind this ball up for tonight and get cast on. And I'm going to keep working on my socks because I am really feeling like I'm on a sock roll and I need to get a finished pair of socks done. So you guys, it was lovely chatting. Thanks to everybody who voted. Thanks for everybody chit-chatting and leaving comments tonight. And if you're just watching and knitting, I'm so glad that you joined us live. And if you're catching the replay, that is perfectly fine too. So I will see you guys. I will see you Saturday morning with Cheryl. The Fiber Friends will be back. The Fiber Friends took a week off last week because I was at the cottage and Cheryl was vending at Kitchener. So Cheryl and I will see you guys Saturday morning on the Fiber Friends Challenge and then our podcast channel. And I will be back here next Monday. And then Jocelyn and I will see you in a couple of weeks with our mid-month motivation. So have a great week, everybody. Get lots of knitting done. Cast on something new if you want. I'm always eager to see people's new starts. And good luck with all the knit-alongs that you guys are working on. So have a fantastic week, everybody. And I will see you all next Monday. Good night.